everyone, welcome to Aradhana TV. Today we have a very special guest with us. She is a consultant psychologist from Visakhapatnam and also a subject expert in counseling, both premarital and marriage counseling and also student counseling. She is Dr. Lenora Mohan. So let's talk to her and know many things about counseling. Hello Lenora.
Hi Shirley.
Welcome to Aradhana TV.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm so glad to have you with us on our show.
Thank you so much.
And I'm eagerly waiting to know many things about counseling.
Me too. I think I would like to really educate the public about counseling. Many people have a kind of misconceptions about counseling and psychiatrists and things like that. So I think it's important that this show is being telecasted.
Well, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
So before we actually get into the topic of counseling, Lenora, tell me something about yourself, your educational background and about your family.
Let me tell you, actually my parents are from Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
My mom is from Ongole and my father is from Kurnool district. My father, he retired as a chief director in the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, central government. He was a central government officer. My mother was a principal of school, and even now she's working into many Christian organizations like Bible Society of India. She was the vice president of, I don't know, have you heard of Christian Council of Churches?
Yes, yes.
For that. So basically we are from a very, very staunch Christian background, and I have a brother too, and he is now working in Nepal as a CEO of Standard Chartered.
Okay.
Well, that's my family. We are people of 4. My husband, basically, he's a cancer specialist. He's a medical oncologist, Dr. Ravi Mohan in Vizag. And I have 2 children. My daughter has done her medicine.
Oh my God.
Really?
Really?
And my son, an engineer.
Wonderful.
So that's our family.
Yeah, you're really blessed, and
grace upon
it's
us.
a blessed family.
Thank you.
So these days we hear the term counseling. So wherever we go, it's all about counseling. So what does the term counseling mean? And is there any specialization in it, like the medical field?
Surely good you asked me. First, let me clear some misconceptions in society about counseling. People are scared to come for counseling. They're not sure what it is. Many times people think they don't want to so-called wash their dirty linen in public. But counseling is a place where a person with problems, see, we face a lot of pressures in society, a lot of stress, and sometimes we are not able to work over it.
Yes.
In the olden days, you had joint family systems, so if a person had a problem, he knew where to go. He could go to his grandfather, he could go to his aunt who would help him. But now we don't have such. It's unit families.
Yes.
So then what do we do? Where do we go? And sometimes when the stress level is so high, the problems are so high, a normal individual cannot think for himself. The solutions lie within him, but he cannot think about it.
Yes.
So basically what I would like to tell people here is, a counselor, that is people like us, we don't give solutions to your problems, but we help you to understand that you yourself can come up with solutions to your problems. It lies in us. See, we're all individuals, unique individuals. Lord has given us that capacity to think, but sometimes due to stress, our thinking process stops. That's when I feel as a counselor we step in and help a person to realize what is his goals and what kind of solutions he can come up with. Only he knows. Only he knows what is the right solution. So if you come to me and you tell me I have this problem, honestly I really don't know what is your background, actually what's your problem. But you yourself know the solution. It's just that we help you realize that problem and the solution to it.
So you strengthen the individuals or the peoples who come to you, and you really make them very strong, that they
to
themselves
understand
have
their
the
own problem and come up with
yeah.
the solution.
So
Yes,
they can find the solutions and you really strengthen them.
that's right. And I think you asked another question about specialization.
Yes.
To be very frank, counseling is counseling, okay? But if I go theoretically, I think I can recognize 3 kinds of counseling in specialization. One is called psychodynamic counseling.
Psychodynamic.
In psychodynamic, it's basically, as counselors, we observe a set patterns of behavior.
Yes.
If a couple or a family or a child comes to us exhibiting some kind of abuse, exhibiting aggressiveness, usually you will see that you go into the family history, you may sometimes find that the child is coming from an abusive parent. Or if a parent is abusive, and in the sense he's a very strong parent, a very strict parent, strict disciplinarian, or a very easygoing parent. If you go into the history, you may find that somewhere along the line his role models were similar. And sometimes we need to undo that, undo it and get back to the normal way of living. So that's called psychodynamic counseling. Then we have a second kind of counseling. It's called person-centered. Now when I talk of person-centered, like I said before, we recognize the uniqueness of an individual. So when we recognize that uniqueness of an individual, we do recognize, like I said, the individual himself comes up with his solutions. So there, as a counselor, I take up a very non-judgmental attitude. We only support the person who comes to us and help him or her to come out with his solutions. That's the kind of person-centered counseling. And the third one is called CBT. Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. Now this is where a little bit of action. We do a little bit of action. We don't sit in our chairs and listen to you, but it's action oriented in the sense we have people who come with us with anxiety, stress, symptoms, depression. Now in such cases action is required. We just cannot expect him to come up with the solutions. So then we help him. We help him through counseling to come out of that kind of depression. So these are the three kinds of counselings. But let me tell you, when as a counselor, we generally don't differentiate between the three. We generally put all of them together and kind of integrative. Where we need to use what is automatically, we use it as professionals to help the person come out of whatever psychological imbalances he has. Well, I hope that answers your question.
I'm really learning many things because I'm coming across many different and new terms like psychodynamics and many other things. CBT, this is the very first time I'm listening to that. I mean, it's very much informative.
Thank you.
Okay, so what is the difference between psychologist and psychiatrist?
Many people don't come to us psychologists because they are scared that we give them medical treatment. We give them medicines. Now this is where I would like to educate the public, educate everyone that there is a massive difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Now a psychologist is a person who deals with the psychological imbalances in a person. Like a little bit of stress, problems in marriage, anxiety in work, organizational problems, problems with the boss, problems with your subordinates. That is what is called psychology. What a psychologist does. But when I talk of a psychiatrist, he's a medically qualified doctor. So he deals with problems, very serious mental problems, mental disorders like schizophrenia. I'm sure many people have heard of bipolar disorders where medical treatment is required. He gives medical treatment. So that's the basic difference. So we psychologists don't treat you medically. We are not actual doctors. We treat you through counseling, through other techniques. And another important thing is, a psychiatrist is generally specialized like a doctor in one or two fields. He can be specialized in mood disorders, he can be specialized in certain things. As a psychologist, we specialize in a lot of fields so that we're able to deal with people all across the strata, all types of problems.
So your major part lies in counseling. So because you study and read the minds of the people, so based on so based on people's attitudes, their behaviors, so you really come up with solutions and you really strengthen them emotionally and you really support them. So that's wonderful. And what type of counseling do you do, and what are the different types of counseling, and also whom do you counsel?
My major clients, as I say, are students and couples. You'll be surprised, Shirley, if I tell you, when I started my counseling center, it's called Sparsh Counseling Center in Vizag. I expected a lot of students from schools to come and talk to me. But you'd be surprised to know that I have more people having problems in marriage, couple counseling. And it came as a surprise to me because I thought only in the metros like Hyderabad, Bombay, where people are more open to talk about their problems, but I find it exists there also and people want help. So I do a lot of marriage counseling, student counseling, and I even do a lot of premarital counseling too.
Moving to premarital counseling, what is the need in the present community of premarital counseling? Because we do hear about marriage counseling, counseling after marriage, but what is the necessity of premarital counseling?
Yeah, premarital counseling once upon a time belonged to the West, where it was very important, believe me, very important, that a couple entering into bondage of marriage needed to visit a pastor or a counselor who would counsel them about what to expect in marriage. But the need now is more evident in our countries also. See, why is it when two different people, a boy and a girl, come from two different backgrounds, all right?
Yes.
Two different setups, two
Yes.
different outlooks throughout their life, two different ways of solving their problems,
Exactly.
and two different ways of thinking, two different ways of enjoying.
Yes.
You're ask them to suddenly come together,
together.
meet one or two times in an
Yes.
Indian situation. I'm not talking about love marriage.
Yeah,
Even
okay.
that has its problems sometimes. But
Yes.
you meet each other in front of the parents, or maybe we go out on a date or two, one or two, just to talk about each other in that half an hour, and you expect them to live a lifelong commitment. It is difficult.
Difficult.
Believe
Exactly.
me. See, what is important is, in a premarital counseling, what we talk about to couples when they sit together, we have a couple of sessions.
Okay.
And the most important thing is, we tell them, try to discuss about your likes and dislikes.
Okay.
What is it I like? What is it you like?
Okay.
What are your expectations from a marriage?
Okay.
Yeah, I want this to be in a marriage. I would like my wife to be like this, or certain things. What my husband to be like this.
Yes.
What are your goals at the end of, when you, after 15 years of your marriage? What is it that you see?
Okay.
How, another important thing, how are you going to be with your in-laws, both
Okay.
sides,
Both sides.
if they interfere, which happens in
Yeah.
Indian marriages? See, because it's not just
This
two
has
people,
become a very common
it's a
thing these
bondage
days.
between two different families. So how are you going to, as a wife, how will you be with your in-laws? As a husband, how will you be with your in-laws? In-laws interference, parental interference is also there, because it's an Indian family.
Yes.
Everyone is there, your aunt, everyone is there.
Yes.
So how do we deal with it when it's not right? Okay.
Okay.
And the most important is, I feel it's very important when a couple entering into bondage of marriage talk about, when we fight, believe me, as they say, love ends at the altar. Believe me, when we fight, how do we settle it? Are we both going to settle it by yelling at each other?
Yes.
Or are we going to call in our parents and say, you settle it for us? Or are we
Yes.
both going to sit together at the end of the day when there's a problem and say, okay, this is
Okay.
how we are going to settle this thing,
Okay.
and stick to that. These things do work, Shirley. I have
Oh.
seen it. A little bit of this exposure
Okay.
makes them think about it.
Okay.
See, because after all, our Christian marriage is a marriage that binds us forever.
Ever. Yes.
Those two most important things which you hear of, till death do us apart.
Part.
And another thing is, for better or for worse.
Yes.
For worse can be sometimes more in marriages.
Yes.
We have to accept that. But how do we make it better? So I feel a premarital counseling where couples sit together a couple of times with someone to help them guide it could
Okay.
help them, definitely,
So it really helps, both the individuals to know
Absolutely.
about them.
about themselves.
About
Yes.
themselves.
Their
And also-
expectations.
yes.
And kids, when they come in, sometimes unemployment, sometimes economic problems. How are we going to deal with it?
And moving on to marriage counseling, so these days broken marriages, the community and especially the Christian community is facing this problem. So, and how do you deal with the couples who come to you for marriage counseling?
Shirley, let me tell you, just the fact, if a couple comes to a counselor for counseling, that itself is the healing process, as the Lord
Okay.
said. That means they still love each other,
Each
they
other.
still have affection for each other, and they still want to get back together.
And they're seeking a solution for that.
And they're seeking a solution. So that itself is a positive point. With that, if you work, believe me, you have you have all the ingredients to make the cake, as they say. Okay. So when a couple comes to me, it's a very positive thing. I do know that we are working on the ground that they have care and affection for each other. So basically, what I would generally do is I put the couple at ease. It's very important that a couple who comes, they need to be at ease. They need to know There is confidence. That's
Okay.
another thing I would like to say, and I would like to tell people. A counselor, the basic tenets he or she works in is confidentiality.
Okay.
Everything that a person says is totally confidential.
Confidential.
There is privacy, it never leaks out, and the fact always we ensure that those who come to us and those who go will, no one would ever hear about it. It's just
Okay.
between me and the person involved. Okay, so that's important.
Important.
So when a marriage couple comes, my first step would be to generally ask, what is the reason you have come here? We start working on that.
Yes.
When a couple expresses,
Yes.
this is the problem we are having, this is the problem, then I try to discern if it's all truthful. It's very
Yes.
important for us. Sometimes some of us tend to be dishonest.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe because if you're trying to hide something,
Mm.
if either the husband or the wife is trying to hide, let's be honest about it, sometimes some of extramarital affairs or
Mm.
some other problems, so one of them tries to hide.
Yes, exactly.
So it's very important for a counselor not to flow along with the tide, but try to see whether they're both truthful.
Okay.
If you find that one of them is not truthful, it's important to challenge the person in a nice way. I'm not talking about an aggressive way, and challenge him, and he express to him or her that this is what you said and this is what now you're saying. It is important the truth comes out between the two.
Okay. It's not believing their words blindly.
Blindly. It's
Okay.
very important. But at the same time, we allow them to talk. It's important to allow them to talk. Listen to their body language.
Okay.
Then after that, the most important thing is I try to put what they have told
Okay.
into words. See, sometimes a lot of things are in our mind. Thoughts, okay? But when we actually put it down in words or in paper, saying
Paper.
this is what actually I didn't like about him or this is what actually I didn't like about her, you actually know what is the thing.
Mm.
So I then make the couple focus on the feelings,
Okay.
not on the event. What was it, the reason you yelled? Was it because he actually came late, or you felt neglected, that you're always being neglected as a wife? Or what was the reason that you could not? Is it just that you were delayed somewhere, or is it just that you didn't
Yes.
feel like going with your wife or something? You know, there are so many things, so many emotions. When you focus on the feelings, that's when problems can be solved, not the
Yes.
events.
Yes.
So once you focus on the feeling, then together, all three of us, we work on the goals.
Yes.
Okay, now you're here, your marriage is here, these are the problems, this is what you feel about your husband, this is what you feel about your wife. Then we focus, what are the goals? They themselves will come
Let
up.
me interrupt you for
Yeah,
a minute.
Sure.
So, is it the communication gap between the wife and
Absolutely.
husband that they don't sit and discuss?
You have hit the nail on the head.
Thank
Let me
you.
tell you. That's a major problem.
Yes.
Most of the couples have problems. It's only because of that. I was going to come to that, but you preempted me in that. Absolutely. See, when they focus on their feelings, they sit down with what is the problem.
Yes.
They need to come up with the goals. Okay, this is how we are going to solve a problem now.